Now, let us go to merger and consolidation. Don't worry, we are almost done. Merger is an event in which a corporation absorbs the other and remains in existence while the others are dissolved, defined under Section 75 of the Revised Corporation Code. The workings of merger can be reduced in this formula, no? Corporation A plus Corporation B equals Corporation A. So here, by virtue of merger, Corporation A absorbs Corporation B and Corporation A remains as a surviving entity post-merger. On the other hand, consolidation is an event where a new corporation is created and consolidating corporations are extinguished, also outlined under Section 75. The formula here would be A plus B equals C. So Corporation A and Corporation B come together, both are extinguished, and the surviving entity is a whole new corporation, which is neither Corporation A nor Corporation B. Okay? Now, let me show you a few examples of merger. RCBC, no? RCBC and RCBC Savings Bank were actually two completely separate corporate entities. It was only lately that RCBC and RSB entered into a merger agreement. So wala na ang RCBC Savings Bank, wala nang RSB. The surviving entity is RCBC. So RCBC absorbed RSB by virtue of the merger. Okay? Now, another merger, this time more recent, this year lang to, Land Bank and the United Coconut Planters Bank. Their merger became effective on March 1, 2022, no? And Land Bank is the surviving entity. Okay? So, as you can see, first paragraph, let us read a bit. No? Notice is hereby given to the creditors, depositors, and clients of the Land Bank of the Philippines and the United Coconut Planters Bank that the merger between Land Bank and UCPB with Land Bank as a surviving entity and the terms and conditions set forth in the related plan of merger and articles of merger. So take note of those terms, plan of merger or merger plan and articles of merger have been approved by the Board of Directors of Land Bank and Board of Directors and stockholders of UCPB at the meetings held for the purpose respectively. The merger shall become effective on March 1, 2022. Now, for those of you who are familiar with this game series called Final Fantasy, you would be familiar as well with the company called Square Enix. Full name being Square Enix Holdings Corporation Limited. So it's a video game corporation. Initially, no, Square, there were two companies initially. The company that created the ancient Final Fantasy 1 onwards, noong Nintendo pa, supercomputer pa o Super Famicom pa yung console. The company back then was named Square or Squaresoft. Their merger was relatively recent, 2003. Kasi Square was an entity back in the mid to late 1980s. So Enix is another company. So Square and Enix, Squaresoft and Enix merged. And actually, it is Enix which is the surviving company. But what they did with the nomenclature of their corporation, of the resulting entity, was that they merged the names. Which is actually, pwede naman yun. So while Enix is the surviving company, they adopted the names of both entities. That is also allowed. And I think BDO merged with, I think, Equitable PCI Bank. Pero ang pangalan is not really BDO anymore. Although, of course, it is more commonly known as just BDO, but the full name is BDO Unibank. But that's another story for another day. So we noticed yung term na ginamit doon sa first paragraph ng Notice of Merger between Land Bank and UCPB, merong tinawag na merger plan or plan of merger. So the plan of merger or consolidation, as the case may be, shall be drafted by the board of each corporation and would set forth the following matters. Number 1, the names of the corporations involved. Number 2, the terms and mode of carrying out the merger or consolidation. Number 3, the statement of changes, if any, in the present articles or a draft of the new articles of the resulting corporation in case of consolidation. Okay? Now, the plan shall then be approved by, and syempre submitted to and approved by, the majority vote of each of the boards of the constituent corporations at separate meetings. Kaya sinabi doon sa Notice of Merger between Land Bank and UCPB, di ba? Merger plan submitted to and approved by the respective boards of the two corporations. And then after that, after ma-approve ng majority ng magkabilang boards of directors, kinakailangang isubmit sa stockholders or members, as the case may be, shall then be approved dapat by at least 2/3 of the stockholders representing the majority of the ownership of the outstanding capital stock. Or yun nga, for non-stock corporations, 2/3, at least 2/3 of the members. Now, upon the approval of the plan of merger or plan of consolidation, each of the constituent corporations shall then execute what we call articles of merger or consolidation, as the case may be. Kaya nakalagay nga doon sa Notice of Merger ni Land Bank at ni UCPB, di ba? There are also articles of merger. Now, the articles must be signed by the president or the vice president and then certified by the corporate secretary or the assistant secretary. The articles of merger or articles of consolidation must set forth the plan of merger or the plan of consolidation, and then the number of shares outstanding, if we are talking about stock corporations, or the number of shares or members voting in favor of the merger or the consolidation and against it for non-stock corporations. Now, effective na ba yun by the mere issuance or execution of the articles of merger or the articles of consolidation? The answer, of course, is no. The Supreme Court guides us in their decision in PNB versus Andrada Electric and Engineering Corporation, GR number 142936, April 17, 2022. No? Very recent case. Sabi ng Supreme Court dito, merger or consolidation does not become effective by mere agreement of the constituent corporations. The approval of the SEC is required. So, the articles of merger or consolidation must be submitted to the SEC, and the SEC must approve in order for the merger or the consolidation to take effect. Now, what are the effects of merger and consolidation? Let us assume that the SEC has already approved it. The articles, I mean. So, now, the surviving or consolidated corporation will possess all the rights, privileges, immunities, and franchises of each constituent corporation and becomes the transferee of the properties previously pertaining to the merged or consolidated corporations. So kung ano ang property, for example, merger, yung properties ni hindi lang yung corporate existence ni Corporation B ang ina-absorb ni Corporation A, kundi pati yung kanyang properties, pati yung kanyang mga rights and franchises, lahat yon absorb. Now, of course, hindi lang naman yung mga positives, hindi lang naman yung mga assets yung na-absorb, pati liabilities din. In fact, all liabilities of the constituents shall pertain to the surviving or consolidated corporation. Now, employees of an absorbed corporation, unfortunately, are not deemed absorbed. Hindi porke may merger, for example, si Corporation A at si Corporation B. Corporation A absorbs Corporation B, which includes all of the rights of Corporation B, the franchises of Corporation B, the properties of Corporation B, as well as the liabilities, if any, of Corporation B. So pati ba employees ni Corporation B, sama din? Package deal ba yun? Unfortunately, class, the answer is no. In fact, the revised corporation code does not mandate absorption of employees. However, if the parties have agreed in their plan of merger na merong mechanism for absorption, na yung staff ni Corporation B i-absorb din ni Corporation A, then the plan of merger will prevail. Yun ang dapat sundin. This is according to the Supreme Court in the case of BPI versus BPI Employees Union, GR number 164301, August 10, 2010.